Hello, from a warm Paris, we are here for the Meeting de Paris at the Stade Charles-Latille. This event marks the midway point of the 2025 Diamond League season. 6 Olympic champions from last year have returned to France, and they have been welcomed by a sellout crowd here of 19,000.
Jordan Scott, who had a great win in Oslo, on his way. 17:21 the target. Oh, that's decent. That is decent, and he may have done it. He's got the green light, and no wonder he's smiling. I think he feels he's got that. It certainly looked good enough. 17:27. He has done it. Now, we don't often see that, but real drama with the final jump of the competition. We're starting with what has become now one of the marquee events of track and field. It's the men's 400 metres hurdles. Trevor Bassett from the USA number 3 behind Benjamin and CJ Allen. Had fun in Oslo. Admitted he wasn't sure about where the first hurdle was placed, so seldom does he run that distance. Abdurrahman Samba, many happy memories for him of Paris. 46.98, still the meeting record. He ran that in 2018, still the 5th fastest of all time. There is Rai Benjamin, the Olympic champion. Part 3 for him of an Oslo-Stockholm-Paris double. Well, Rai Benjamin ran a really measured race in the 400 metres in Stockholm. Samba's gone off nice and aggressively, as has Trevor Bassett. Bassett up on the shoulder already of Samba. Samba, though, has scorched his opening 2 or 300 metres, but now Benjamin coming back into his own. Little bit of work to do for Lima, who's had a fine season. Now Benjamin coming into the crown of the bend with 3 to go. Benjamin against Samba. Samba with happy memories, remember, of this track and this stadium. But it's Benjamin striding away, just reaching for that final barrier. Benjamin coming through. Let's keep an eye on the clock. 46.98, remember, is the meeting record. Not anymore. 46.93. Wow. Didn't he make that looking easy? So composed. Once again, he judged it to perfection. Almost dawdling it felt in the last 50 metres as he came under a little bit of pressure in the final barrier or two, but Samba couldn't close, and Benjamin has taken his meeting record, 46.93.
Second attempt for Yami Perez, still chasing her first Diamond League win this season. Well, the mark seems good. That'll be over 65 metres. Excellent throw. In fact, 65.03. The Cuban moving into second place behind Jorinda van Glinken. Now it's the Dutch woman's turn, trying to improve on 65.78. That currently puts her in provisional first place. Another great throw for her. She lined that up very well. That is 66.42. Van Glinken strengthens her lead at the top of the standings with a season's best.
Unusual position for Ullmann to be in the final 3, but not leading. This is for the victory. Can she go from 3rd to 1st? 66.42. Yes! Oh, goodness me. She's done it. Well, we sat on the bus just across the aisle from her to get to the stadium this evening. I thought she was in quite relaxed mood, but rather quiet and keeping herself to herself and kind of penny for your thoughts, that kind of feel about it, wasn't it? But goodness me, she's done it again.
With all that pressure on her, it's absolutely fantastic. 67.56, so she ends up quite a dominant winner in the end, over a metre ahead of Jorinda van Glinken, who stays in second, and Yami Perez pushed down into 3rd.
One of the highlights of the evening here in Paris. It's an absolutely stacked men's 800 metres.
Trapiso Masalela shares lane 8 with the pacemaker Saradsky. It's clear from his 3:30 1500 in April that Masalela had a good winter, and he converted that to 800 with wins in Doha and Rabat. Now, only at the Paris Diamond League would you get such a stacked field that the 5th placer from the Olympic Games is sharing with the world indoor champion. Atari on the outside there, 1:42 for him in Stockholm, bookended by a pair of great 1500 metre personal bests. And Josh Hoey, sensational indoors, who went 2nd all time, won the world indoor title, and then improved by nearly a 2nd in Stockholm on Sunday. As expected, the national record holder and 6th fastest of all time, Frenchman Gabriel Toul, gets his own lane and a good lane. The European champion and Olympic 6th placer should be able to get a good position as the athletes move towards that break on the back straight. And they've been handing out supersized posters of him.
The pace they asked for through 400 was 49.50. Saratsky is a very, very experienced pacemaker. This feels like it's on the money. 41.5 for the pacemaker and a little bit. It's almost perfect.
They have gone hard through the first 400 metres. Saratsky had to get ahead of this field. Josh Hoey was a front-running sensation indoors. He transferred that all the way to Nanjing to the World Indoor Championships. But in the outdoor circuit, he's just getting chewed up, just getting behind bodies a little bit. So it's good to see Josh Hoey sticking to his style here, his favoured style. The bang on the green lights. They're targeted at that world lead of 141.95. Kramer with a brilliant move on the outside. Masalela is lurking. Bryce Hoppel being patient on the rail. He'll hope that the Swede and his American teammate drift wide. Hoppel trying to get himself past Andreas Kramer here. Josh Hoey, he's had a clean run, he's stayed out of trouble, but he's going to be tired. He's got all the work here. He's still on the green lights. Atari on the inside. The Spaniard looks for room on the inside of the American, and Mohamed Atari in the final stages snatches the win. Puts his hand aloft. 142.73 for Atari. He looks so despondent indoors. He had a go at 1500. It didn't quite go his way. But he's back in an event where he finished in the 5th position at the Olympic Games.
This is full of quality. 14 women only in history have run under the magic 9-minute mark, and 3 of them are here this evening. We've got the Olympic silver and bronze medalists from Paris last year. Faith Cherotich, she is the in-form athlete. Bronze last year in Paris in the Olympics, but she's beaten Niavi in her last 2 races brilliantly. There is Peru Chematai, the Olympic silver medalist, who is a disappointing 7th in Doha. So away we go, nice and cleanly on the far side. 7.5 laps of the track. The field has been broken up quite substantially. Chematai and Cherotich with Almeu and Muleta, the 2 Ethiopians. There is Almeu in pursuit of the 2 leading athletes. And, well, Alice Fino, it's not at all how she planned her race. And she is quite some way back. So clear daylight now between the 2 big names, the Ugandan of Chematai, the Kenyan Cherotich, Almeu, the youngster, who's working really hard. 7:46 at the bell. A reminder, the world record, 8:44. We might be outside of that sort of territory, but we could be in for something inside the top 10 performances of all time. It's a straight dust-up now on the final 400 metres between Cherotich and Chematai. Almeu is a distant 3rd, and then behind it's Maya and Muleta. Nothing much has changed. Cherotich, is it a matter of time? When will Chematai go? Will Cherotich be able to respond? 2:50 to go. Another barrier safely negotiated. They're ahead of the lights again. And now goes Chematai. Chematai has made her move. Chematai has gone. Is it decisive? Final water jump. They go together. Now then, battling shoulder to shoulder. Side by side, coming in. Has Cherotich found another gear? Is there a response? Yes, there is so far. Final barrier, 1 to come. Keep an eye on the clock. Wow, it's going to be quick, and Cherotich has done it again. It's going to be 3 from 3 for the Kenyan. Let's keep an eye on the clock. 8:53.38. Wow! What a performance. She has smashed the world lead. That has taken 5 seconds off the best time in the world this year. What a race. 6th fastest time in history. A second attempt here at 4:73, which will, I'm sure, be just irritating her a little bit. Nicely done. Katie Moon, real character as well. She and Sandy Morris are a great advert for the women's pole vault. So Katie Moon gets the victory, and that's a wonderful performance there from Katie Moon, winning on countback from Sandy Morris. One of the highlights, the many highlights here in Paris, in front of a packed crowd. crowd, a very vocal crowd, is the women's 400 metres. Full of quality, really looking forward to this one. Salwa Eid Nasser, Olympic silver last summer here in Paris, world champion back in 2019. That scorching victory in Kingston, 48.67, still the world lead. Here is the Olympic champion, the world champion, the Diamond League champion. Never lost in Paris, 21, 21, 23 and 24. Can she make it 4 from 4? Well, Nasser likes to go out really hard, as she did in Kingston, and make quite the statement. Klaver also going well in these early stages, but Paulino judges things to perfection. But it's Nasser. Look at that accentuated style. It's oozing aggression. Come and catch me if you can, she says. Klaver going well as well on the inside, but look for Paulino. Whitaker has gone. Paulino coming back at her, starting to rock and roll. Who's going to get it? Is it Paulino? Is it Nasser? It's going to be Paulino. Keep an eye on the clock. It's a new meeting record. She beats her own mark. And once again, the Olympic champion gets the timing right, really judges it well. Nasser, we know she likes to go out like a rocket, and it's great to see. And then she likes to hang on, but on this occasion, she couldn't hang on. And Paulino, goodness me, she had to work hard, but she's got there, and it's a meeting record.
There he is, Azzedine Habs. Been disappointed with his showing in Paris, but he has had a great couple of years in the Olympic Games. He would have loved to be more involved, if you like. George Mills, what a wonderful run in Oslo, that 7-second national record over 5,000 metres. He then ran 3:32 in Stockholm a few days later. So it's not a Diamond League race, but it looks like it is on paper with the talent and the names that we've got involved. Habs not wanting to let the pace relent at all. George Mills, I think he'd take it on if he felt he could, if he needed to, if it was slow, but they were good through the bell there. The green lights are right on Nilsson and on George Mills. They are set on 3:28.98. This would be fantastic runs for all of these men. And the youngster Koech has got himself back involved. He's in 4th place and he's moving up alongside Nilsson. Habs is working hard. He'll be dreading those lights coming up alongside him. George Mills, is he aware of Koech coming on his shoulder? Because Mills will want to protect that second position. He can't do anything about it. The Brit gives way to the 18-year-old Koech. Next stop is Azzedine Habs. Habs is going to have company here as he comes into the last 100 metres. The crowd are on their feet. They're cheering him down the home straight. Habs is miles ahead of the light. He's definitely going to break Mehdi Barla's national record. He's going to smash it. And he's going to win here in Paris. Azzedine Habs versus the clock. 3:27.49. What a run from Azzedine Habs. He slots himself into 5th place on the all-time list. Azzedine Habs, take a bow. Habs, he just found something. There was such an energy here in the stadium. And I think Habs took every little bit of that. And he is a new national record holder. So Yaroslava Mahuchik, 2 failures at 94. She passed her final attempt. So this is her 3rd and final attempt to stay in the competition, where she set a world record last year. And that's the mark of a champion, Yaroslava Mahuchik. She gets over 197, and there was a small smile as she walked away there. I don't know if it was relief or happiness, that it felt good.
Nicola Olaslagers, as always, with the tried and tested routine, the hands aloft, getting the crowd engaged, and then the scream. Second attempt at 2 metres. Yeah, she's over! Wow! It works to perfection. She's been through that routine hundreds and hundreds of times, and it's another 2-metre success to add to her CV.
But another performance for her over 2 metres. She's making that a habit. She's looking very comfortable, and she's making winning a habit as well.
We've got a really high-quality women's 200 metres to bring you here. Mackenzie Long on her inside, teammate, Olympic finalist, did well to make the Olympic team last year. Has been racing sparingly so far, long season of course. Brittany Brown, bronze medalist in this very city last year at the Olympic Games behind Gabby Thomas and Julian Alfred. Diamond League champion goes in 6th. The woman in form, Anavia Battle, a perfect 3 from 3 in the Diamond League this year. Xiamen, Shanghai and Rome, taking away the fear, she said, so she can make the US team, she hopes. Dina Asher-Smith has had a good last couple of weeks over 100 metres. Nothing much to choose between them as they come off the bend. Deja Stevens is going well. Now Battle comes through. Also going nicely is Amy Hunt for Great Britain. It's these two pulling clear. Is it four from Battle? Yes, it is. Wow. She continues her winning streak. Who can beat Anavia Battle? Well, Amy Hunt splits the American domination there, but Battle, Long and Stevens and Brown. Battle, Hannah, took her time, and she's a great bend runner. Niraj Chopra, who finally joined the 90-metre club in Doha a few weeks ago. But this is a really exciting javelin competition this evening. We've got 5 men who have thrown over 90 metres. And here is one of them, Niraj Chopra. And he liked that celebration. That's not a bad opener, is it? 88.16. It's a wonderful way to start.
Julian Faber hit 90 metres for the first time in his career there as well. He was the winner in Doha, 91 metres, 6 centimetres. Finally breaking the personal best he set in Munich when he won the European title. It's a good opening effort from Julian Faber up towards the 90-metre mark. 87.88 for his opening throw here. Slots in between Chopra and Peters.
Luis de Silva then with his third round throw, just making sure that he stops in time. And that's going out to 86 metres, 76 metres. 86.62.
That's going to improve his own South American record. But it will be a win for Niraj Chopra, 88.16. First defeat of the season for Julian Faber, 87.88. And a third for Luis de Silva, 86.62. It's time for another Diamond Plus event here in the Paris Diamond League. Toby Amasan, the 2022 world champion and world record holder, after no Diamond Leagues wins at all last year, she took the win in Rabat. She's in good form, 12.45 so far this year for the Nigerian. Akira Nugent goes in lane 4. Went 6th all-time in the Rome Diamond League last year after not finishing the Olympic final in Paris, and she's in good form, 12.34 for her in Miami last month. Grace Stark, just 100th quicker on season's best, but she took a win in Stockholm in her second fastest time ever. Grace Stark, she's just alongside Akira Nugent as well. Grace Stark just building momentum as they go into the second half of the race. Grace Stark trying to hold it together. She is so quick between the barriers. She manages it. Toby Amasan with a great second place. 12.21 for Grace Stark. It's a new meeting record. It's a new personal best. Where does that put her on the all-time list? That puts her 5th on the all-time list. Equal 5th on the all-time list. Congratulations, Grace Stark. I mentioned, well, she was 5th in Paris last year off the NCA system. In her first season as a professional in Xiamen, it was just messy. It just didn't work for her. And then she came back out in Stockholm. Absolute perfection.
Now it's the high hurdles. It's the men first up, and it's the return of Grant Holloway.
Trey Cunningham took a silver in 2022 at the World Championships, and he's finally equalled his PB from that season. That in Miami back in May, ran a 100-metre personal best there as well. Dylan Beard carried the momentum from a season's best win in Turku on Tuesday to a personal best in the heats, 13.08, and he was absolutely delighted. Jason Joseph has taken lane 4 for Switzerland. It was a sluggish start for him. In the end, he was a convincing winner of that second heat in 13.09. He followed up his Rome Diamond League win with another win here in Paris. Rachid Maritaki was 2nd in Xiamen, 2nd in Shanghai, and then won the Asian Championships. He was a very clean 13.08 to comfortably win Heat 1. We mentioned the first race in 8 weeks for Grant Holloway. He's been pretty cagey about what's gone on in those 2 months and why he struggled in Xiamen, but he is here and we love to see him on the Diamond League circuit. Murataki and from Trey Cunningham in lane 2. Trey Cunningham in lane 2 putting the pressure on the athletes around him. Grant Holloway moving well, but this is where he faltered in the heats. And it's Trey Cunningham perhaps. The clock stopped at 13 dead. I think Trey Cunningham got that on the dip ahead of Dylan Beard. I think perhaps Murataki got himself ahead at least of Grant Holloway. That was better from Grant Holloway, way better than earlier. But this event, this season, is going fantastically well. Cordell Tinch not even here, 4th all-time in Shanghai with his 12.87, but Trey Cunningham, another 13 dead and a Diamond League win. Another personal best for Dylan Beard, the second of the day, equaling the national record. Jason Joseph of Switzerland for third. That was a wonderful high hurdles.
It's time for our penultimate action event on the track. It's the men's 5,000 metres, and weren't we treated to an absolute spectacle in Oslo?
And Kajelcha is still the fourth fastest man of all time, 12.38 last year in Oslo. Broke the half marathon world record in October, but then Jacob Kiplimo smashed it underneath 57 seconds. And Graham Blanks, another American everyone's very excited about, I think it was 12.48 for him in Oslo. I'll always remember the 10,000 metres at the Olympic Games, the whole stadium cheering on Jimmy Gressier and Jan Schrupp. 2-3 for America at the moment in the men's 5,000 metres. Nico Young and Graham Blanks are doing a fantastic job of holding on to Yomif Kajelcha, but Kajelcha has been passive in a few of his races in this season. In that race in Oslo, he just let the pace falter ever so slightly, let it slow down, but not today. Yomif Kajelcha, the fourth fastest man ever, the Ethiopian great. And I think Yomif Kajelcha, whatever, he could walk away from this knowing he gave it a real go, that he had a go at the world record. He wasn't passive, but he's looking really tired. We're having a big move behind from Bailu of Bahrain, and Graham Blanks is going with him. Jimmy Gressier is bang on the French record, just at the bottom of your shot here. Jimmy Gressier has paced this phenomenally. He's eating up the ground on the athletes in front of him. Yomif Kajelcha has got a lead of around about 30 or 40 metres. It is closing. Graham Blanks and Bailu are going on the absolute charge down the back straight, as is Jimmy Gressier. Gressier has moved past Nico Young, but Graham Blanks and Bailu, they're pushing hard as they go through 200 metres. The gap is shortening ever so slightly, but Yomif Kajelcha, he's been looking at the screen. He'll know where the danger is. And you can see it's 23 metres, it's 22 metres. Bailu has got the momentum, Blanks alongside him. I think the American record is going to survive. That's the white lights just going down the track in front of them. But Yomif Kajelcha, a nervous look over his shoulder. He's worked incredibly hard here. Bailu is closing so quickly. Bailu is going to come just short. Yomif Kajelcha looks over his shoulder. He's absolutely exhausted. It's going to be 12.47 for him. A new French record for Jimmy Gressier in fourth place. Graham Blanks, similar to what he managed in Oslo. Got a great third place, much higher up than he was at the Oslo Diamond League. But Kajelcha, he gave it a real go.
Final action on the track then is the women's 1,500 metres. 16 athletes altogether, full of quality. And it includes 3 athletes in Sarah Healy, Georgia Hunter-Bell and Lyndon Hall, who've all won their first Diamond League races of their careers in recent weeks. Chepchirchir, who's the fastest athlete in the world outdoors this year, 3:58.04. I think that's really vulnerable this evening. That could easily go. Away they go on the far side of the track. 3 3/4 laps of the track, looking for 62.8. Bunching again, so anybody's race here. Look out for the kick of Hunter-Bell. She's got herself boxed in a little bit on the inside, down in fourth. Riki just behind her. Chepchirchir though is leading them out here. Hylom, it's Kenya 1 and 3. Ajure coming here to take closer order as well. Hylom under pressure there. Hunter-Bell is going backwards at the moment. Agat as well is in there as well. Healy jostling for position. Ajure, it's anybody's race here, but at the moment it's Chepchirchir controlling things with less than 200 to go. Georgia Griffith, who's got a kick finish very impressively, is coming wide and having to. Hylom is still in the mix. Ajure there. But Chepchirchir, as she did in Doha, is controlling this nicely. Really tall, long-rangey. Hall is coming wide. Hunter-Bell's going to have to come on the inside. Also finishing strongly is Healy. Healy is going on the inside, and she left it too late. Chepchirchir gets there. Healy in second. Brilliant race. Chepchirchir, once she got to the front, it was the Chepchirchir show. She controlled it beautifully. Healy came through, had a real nibble there on the inside, but couldn't find the room. Just ran out of space. Hylom in the end had to settle for third, and Hunter-Bell down in 6th place in the end.